Hey everybody, ready for another deep dive? Today we're looking at something that's been making waves on Instagram.
Oh, yeah. What's that?
The option to hide likes.
Huh. Yeah, I've heard about that.
It's really gotten me thinking about why this feature even exists.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah,
Seems like there's more to it than meets the eye.
exactly. So to get into it, we're taking a look at a recent episode of the SocialWick Podcast. They had some really interesting points about this whole hiding likes thing.
Okay, so what are we hoping to get out of this deep dive?
Well, I think it'd be great to understand how to actually hide likes, because I'm not sure everybody even knows that's possible.
Yeah, good point.
And then, even more importantly, I want to understand the why. Like, why would someone choose to hide those little hearts?
Yeah, what's the motivation there?
And finally, what does this all mean for social media as a whole? Is this a sign of things to come?
I think that's a really intriguing question. This seemingly small feature could actually be a sign of some bigger changes happening in how we think about online interaction.
I agree. It's almost like Instagram is saying, hey, maybe those visible like counts aren't always a good thing. But before we go too deep into that, let's actually walk through the steps of hiding likes.
Yeah, let's start with the basics. How do you actually do it?
Okay, so say you've got this awesome selfie you're ready to post, you're all set to hit share, but hold on a sec. Look for advanced settings.
Oh, okay.
You tap that and bam, you've got the option to hide, like, and view counts on this post.
So you can actually do it before you even post it.
Exactly. Just toggle it on and you're like a secret agent in the world of likes. Nobody knows how many you're getting.
I didn't realize it was that simple.
Right. And get this, you can actually apply this to older posts too.
What, really?
Yeah.
So if you're having second thoughts about those visible likes on a photo from last week, you can go back and hide them.
You got it. Just go to the post, tap those three little dots, select hide like count, and poof, they're gone.
It's like a social media do-over.
I like how you put that, but this leads to the big question, right? Why would someone even want to hide likes? Like, what's the point?
Yeah, that's the million-dollar question.
Well, the SocialWick podcast, they gave three main reasons that I thought were really interesting.
Okay, I'm all ears.
And I think they all kind of point to this idea that maybe, just maybe, constantly comparing ourselves to others online and feeling the pressure to perform isn't so healthy.
Yeah, that makes sense. There's a lot of pressure to rack up those likes.
So the first reason they mentioned was mental health.
Oh, okay.
It's easy to fall into that trap of comparing your likes to someone else's, wondering why your post didn't get as much love.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I've definitely been there.
And that can really mess with your self-esteem. You start questioning yourself, like, what's wrong with me? Or why isn't my stuff good enough?
It's a slippery slope.
But if you hide likes, it kind of takes that pressure off.
You're not constantly being bombarded with those numbers,
Yeah.
so you can just focus on expressing yourself.
Exactly. You're free to be yourself without worrying about being judged based on those little hearts.
I like that. Yeah, freedom to be authentic.
Okay, and that brings us to the second reason, authenticity. The podcast suggested that maybe if people aren't so worried about likes, they'll actually, pay more attention to the content itself.
Oh, that's interesting. So instead of just scrolling and double tapping, they might actually leave a thoughtful comment or start a real conversation.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a nice thought, isn't it? That removing that numerical validation could lead to more meaningful interactions.
Right. It's about shifting our focus back to quality over quantity.
Makes sense.
And speaking of quantity, the last reason for hiding likes that they brought up was, well, privacy.
Privacy, huh?
Yeah. Some people simply feel like it's nobody's business how many likes their posts get. It's their little corner of the internet, and they want to decide who sees that information.
I can see that. It's a way of asserting control in a space that often feels very public.
It is, yeah. It's like saying, this is my expression, and I get to choose how much of it is measured and shared.
I like that. It's empowering.
And what's really interesting is that the podcast, they even talked about how some creators are seeing a boost in engagement when they hide likes.
Really? Now that's surprising. You'd think it would be the opposite.
Right. Seems counterintuitive. But
Mhm.
their thinking is that when people aren't so focused on chasing those likes, they're actually, more likely to really connect with the content itself.
Oh, I see, yeah. It takes the pressure off of performing for the numbers and lets people just be genuine.
Exactly. And when people feel like they can be genuine, well, that's when you get those real conversations and meaningful interactions.
I guess it makes sense when you think about it that way. It's like, are you liking something because it's already popular or because you actually, like it?
That's a good point. It's almost like hiding likes levels the playing field a little bit.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Instead of just gravitating toward whatever's already getting a ton of attention, you're more open to, discovering something new.
Right. It's about those hidden gems that might not have gone viral, but still have something valuable to offer.
It's like we're breaking free from the tyranny of the algorithm, in a way.
I like how you put that. It's about reclaiming our attention and deciding for ourselves what's worth engaging with.
It's a powerful idea, for sure. And I think it ties into this larger trend we're seeing across social media.
Oh, yeah. What's that?
Well, there's this growing pushback against comparison culture. People are realizing that, constantly comparing themselves to others online can be really harmful to their well-being.
It's like everyone's trying to present this perfect, curated version of themselves, and it's exhausting.
Exactly. And it sets up these unrealistic expectations that can be really hard to live up to.
Yeah.
So, maybe hiding likes is a way of pushing back against that.
I see what you mean. It's like taking a step back from the pressure to perform and saying, hey, I'm just going to be myself.
And hopefully that authenticity will inspire others to do the same.
That's the dream, isn't it? A more genuine and less performative online experience.
Absolutely. And I think this whole hiding likes thing is a step in the right direction.
I agree. But okay, we've talked about how to hide likes, and we've explored some of the reasons why someone might choose to do that. But I want to hear your take on the bigger picture. Like, how do you see this feature connecting to those larger trends in social media? The ones we've been talking about. The shift away from comparison culture and that desire for a more authentic online experience.
Well, I think it's significant. Even though it might seem like a small change, it's a sign that Instagram, they're acknowledging that those metrics, those likes and those numbers, they don't always tell the whole story.
It's like they're recognizing that there's value in separating engagement from visibility.
Exactly. And I think that raises some really interesting questions about how we measure value and success online.
Right. Like, if likes aren't the ultimate measure, then what is?
Yeah, what really matters?
Yeah.
How do we cultivate genuine connection and meaningful engagement in a space that's often driven by algorithms and metrics?
Those are some thought-provoking questions. And I think they're ones that every social media user should be asking themselves. What do you think about all of this? Like, have you ever felt the pressure to compare yourself to others online? Or maybe you've noticed that you're more drawn to posts that already have a ton of likes. What stands out to you in all of this? Or, on the flip side, do you think hiding likes could actually, change how we interact online?
Oh, interesting.
Would it make you more likely to engage with content you actually enjoy, even if it doesn't have like a zillion likes already? Maybe you think it wouldn't make much of a difference.
It really is fascinating when you think about it. Like, are we more likely to, follow the crowd?
Yeah.
Or will we feel more empowered to do our own thing, if those numbers aren't staring us in the face?
It's like we're kind of testing the balance between social influence and individual preference.
Yeah, exactly. And the results of that test, they could have implications way beyond just Instagram.
Oh, that's a good point.
What if this whole idea of hiding those metrics, what if it spread to other platforms?
Like Twitter or TikTok?
Yeah. Could it lead to a more, authentic and less performative online experience overall?
No, that's a thought-provoking question. I'd love to see where that goes. But before we get too far ahead of ourselves, there's one more thing I want to ask you, the listener.
Shoot.
Would you actually USE the hide likes feature?
Yeah. Would you?
Why or why not?
There's really no right or wrong answer here, is there?
Nope, not at all. It's about, figuring out what works best for you and how you want to use social media.
It's about having a choice.
Yeah. In a world where it feels like, we're constantly being told how to use these platforms, how to get more followers, how to, hack the algorithm, it's refreshing to remember that we actually have a choice. We can use these tools in a way that, feels good to us and aligns with our own values.
I love that. Taking back control.
Yes. Okay, so we've really explored this whole idea of hiding likes on Instagram, haven't we?
We have.
We looked at the how-to, the why, and even, what it all could mean for social media as a whole.
It's a big conversation to have.
But I want to leave you with one final thought, something to ponder.
Okay, I'm ready.
So, if controlling the visibility of likes can lead to a more, authentic and enjoyable experience online, what other aspects of these platforms could we adjust? What features could we tweak?
Interesting.
What algorithms could we refine?
And how could we really shape these online spaces to encourage, real connection and those meaningful interactions?
It's a challenge, for sure, for the platforms themselves and for us as users.
Absolutely. It's up to all of us to decide what kind of online world we want to create.
So much to think about. And on that note, we'll leave you to ponder those possibilities. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of hidden likes. Until next time, happy scrolling.